Welcome back to the channel, USA Coins 69, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and collectors of all ages. If you've ever walked past a nickel on the ground, if you've ever tossed one into a jar or paid for a soda without thinking twice, today's video might just change the way you look at this small, overlooked coin forever, because hiding in plain sight is a coin that could transform your loose change into a jaw-dropping jackpot. Yes, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1984 Jefferson Nickel, a 5-cent coin minted by the United States, and one that, in rare cases, could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So stay with me from start to finish, because what starts as a simple nickel ends as a symbol of hidden American wealth, and maybe, just maybe, your next big find. Let's begin with the basics. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The new design was created to honor the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, one of the key architects of American democracy and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The design, by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, was meant to embody the ideals Jefferson stood for: reason, balance, and progress. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll find a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, his name wrapping around the rim, along with the words, "In God We Trust," and the year of minting, which in this case is 1984. Just beside the year, you'll spot a mint mark, either a P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. On the reverse, you'll see Jefferson's iconic home, Monticello, centered beneath the inscriptions, E Pluribus Unum, United States of America, and of course, the denomination, 5 cents. Now, millions of these 1984 nickels were produced. So how can a coin so common end up being so valuable? Here's where the magic begins. You see, most coins go through their lives untouched by fame, passed from hand to hand, worn down over time, and eventually melted or forgotten. But a few, just a few, beat the odds. Either they were struck differently, made from unusual materials, or preserved in such stunning condition that they defy expectations, and that's exactly the case with some 1984 Jefferson nickels. First, let's talk minting errors, the rare and wonderful flaws that make certain coins worth exponentially more than their face value. In 1984, a number of Jefferson nickels were struck with major die errors, mistakes that occurred during the coin-making process. Some were produced with off-center strikes, where the image and text are shifted noticeably to one side. Others were struck with double dies, where parts of the coin's lettering or image appear double due to a misalignment of the die. These double die errors are especially valuable. Why? Because they're easy to spot with the naked eye and extremely rare. A collector who finds a 1984 double die Jefferson nickel in good condition is sitting on a small fortune. Another error to look for is the no mint mark error. Normally, Philadelphia nickels in 1984 had a visible P mint mark. But in rare cases, that mint mark is completely missing, making those few coins with no mark highly collectible. Then there's the holy grail of nickels, coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. Yes, it happened. In rare cases, the U.S. Mint mistakenly struck 1984 Jefferson nickels on foreign coin planchets, thin metal discs intended for coins of other nations. This causes the coin to weigh differently, appear smaller or larger, or have odd coloration. These anomalies are incredibly rare, and collectors go wild for them. Let's move on to another major factor: condition. Coin collectors, or numismatists, use a special grading system to determine how well a coin has been preserved. Grades range from poor, P1, all the way up to the ultra-rare mint state 70, MS 70, which means the coin is in absolutely perfect condition. Now imagine this: you find a 1984 Jefferson nickel that was never circulated. No scratches. No wear. Full detail. Sharp edges. Perfect shine. That coin might be graded MS 66, MS 67, or even MS 68, and that's when values skyrocket. It gets even better. Some 1984 nickels have been discovered with full steps on Monticello, a term used to describe coins where all 6 steps of Jefferson's home are clearly visible. This is one of the hardest features to preserve, and when it's present, collectors are willing to pay big premiums. So how do you know if your nickel is special? Here's a checklist you should follow. Check the mint mark. Is it AD? P? S? Or is it mysteriously missing? Inspect for errors, look for any doubling in the lettering or numbers. Are any images off-center? Is the coin unusually thick, thin, or oddly colored? Weigh the coin. A typical Jefferson nickel should weigh 5 grams. Anything more or less could indicate a striking on the wrong planchet. Examine Monticello, look closely at the steps. Are they fully visible and well-defined? That could mean serious value, luster and detail. Is the coin bright and crisp with no wear or scratches? If yes, you may have an uncirculated gem. And finally, if you find a coin that looks promising, consider sending it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Their certification gives your coin credibility and often boosts its resale value tremendously. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. After a deep study of numismatic auction records and collector databases, it was revealed that a 1984 Jefferson nickel, with a rare die error, full steps, and near-perfect condition, was once auctioned off for an astonishing price. This small, seemingly insignificant 5-cent coin sold to a serious collector for a jaw-dropping $60,000 US. That's right, $60,000 for a single nickel. So the next time you're digging through your change or going through an old coin jar at your grandparents' house, don't pass up those nickels. One of them might just be your hidden treasure. Today, we're turning our attention to one of the most underappreciated coins in American pockets, a coin that millions of people have held without knowing they were touching a tiny piece of fortune. Yes, we're talking about the Jefferson nickel, specifically from the year 1972. And before you dismiss it as just another 5-cent piece, you'll want to stick around. Because some of these coins, believe it or not, have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. So get comfortable. We're about to dive deep into the history, hidden secrets, and unbelievable value behind the 1972 Jefferson nickel. By the end of this video, you'll be checking every single nickel in your house, your change jar, and even the one stuck between your couch cushions. Let's start with a little backstory. The Jefferson nickel was first minted in 1938, taking over from the famous Buffalo nickel. Designed by sculptor Felix Schlag, it was intended not only to honor one of America's founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, but also to give the nickel a bold new face for the modern age. On the front side, you'll see a side profile of Jefferson himself, facing left, with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and of course, the year. In this case, 1972. Depending on the mint location, you might spot a small letter just next to the year, D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Turn the coin over, and you'll see Jefferson's iconic home, Monticello, one of the most enduring images in American coinage. Above it, you'll see the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, and below it, United States of America, along with the denomination, 5 cents. Millions of 1972 nickels were minted, so why are we talking about them like they're rare treasures? Here's the kicker: not all nickels are created equal. Some 1972 Jefferson nickels have characteristics so rare, so unique, that they've become highly sought after by serious collectors around the world. These coins didn't come from some special release, they were hidden in plain sight, a result of errors, unusual conditions, and preservation. Let's explore the secrets that could turn your nickel into a numismatic jackpot. First, let's talk about mint errors. The United States Mint operates under incredibly high standards. But no system is perfect. Sometimes coins are struck with die errors, misalignments, or on the wrong planchets, and those mistakes are exactly what collectors drool over. In 1972, a number of Jefferson nickels were struck with what's called a double die, where parts of the design are accidentally impressed twice onto the same coin, usually creating a shadow-like doubling in the letters or numbers. These coins are instantly more valuable, especially when the doubling is bold and easy to see without a magnifying glass. Another common error in this year was off-center strikes, where the coin's design appears shifted, leaving part of the image missing or cut off. The more dramatic the misalignment, the rarer the coin becomes. A 10% off-center strike might be worth a few bucks. A 60% off-center strike? That's where serious money starts flowing in. Then there's the holy grail of minting mistakes: coins struck on the wrong planchet, meaning a nickel accidentally struck on the blank metal disc meant for a dime, a penny, or even a foreign coin. These coins are not only rare, but sometimes one of a kind. Now, let's talk about the mint mark mystery. Most 1972 Jefferson Nickels from Philadelphia bear no mint mark, while those from Denver have a D, and the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins with an S. But a few coins have been found with strange or misplaced mint marks, or with missing letters entirely. These subtle differences are pure gold in the eyes of a dedicated collector, and let's not forget about condition. One of the most important things a collector looks for is the grade of the coin. This ranges from poor, P1, heavily worn and nearly unrecognizable, all the way up to the elite level of MS-70, mint state, a flawless coin in perfect, uncirculated condition. Most coins in circulation fall somewhere in the middle. But a 1972 Jefferson nickel in MS-66 or higher, especially with a full steps designation, can fetch huge premiums. What are full steps? It's when the stairs on the Monticello building on the back of the coin are perfectly struck and clearly visible. This is very hard to achieve because even the tiniest wear or strike weakness can blur them out. Coins with full steps are rare. Coins from 1972 with full steps in mint state? That's a collector's dream. Now let's walk through a quick checklist so you can examine your own nickels. Check the date. It must be 1972. Look for the mint mark. Is it a D, S, or missing entirely? Inspect for doubling. Are any letters or numbers visibly doubled? Check the coin center. Is it off-centered or oddly shaped? Examine Monticello. Are all 6 steps clear and unbroken? Weigh the coin. A standard nickel should weigh 5 grams. Anything more or less might indicate a planchet error. Condition matters. Is the coin shiny, clean, with sharp edges and no signs of circulation? That might mean you've got an uncirculated beauty. If your coin checks any of those boxes, it's time to get it graded. Services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, can verify and authenticate your find, and that official certification can turn your coin into a highly desirable piece. Now you're probably wondering, what's the record? How much could a humble 1972 Jefferson nickel actually be worth? Well, hold on to your seats, because one particular 1972 Jefferson nickel, with exceptional detail, full steps, and a high mint state grade, combined with a minting error, was auctioned to a private collector for an unbelievable sum. That coin sold for $64,000. Yes. You heard that right. $64,000, from a 5-cent coin. So the next time someone tells you nickels are worthless, smile and check your pocket. Because buried in change jars, in old drawers, or forgotten boxes of coins, could be your future fortune. Today, we're unlocking the secrets behind the 1979 Jefferson nickel, a coin that appears ordinary, but under the right conditions, could turn out to be extraordinary. Let's begin by stepping back in time to the late 1970s. It was a transitional time in American history. Disco was fading, gas prices were rising, and new technology was starting to enter homes. But amidst all that change, one thing remained consistent: the U.S. Mint's production of coins. Among them was a 5-cent piece that nobody paid much attention to back then, the 1979 Jefferson nickel. Now, on the surface, it might not seem like anything special. It's small, it's gray, and it's worth just 5 cents. But don't let its humble appearance fool you, because within a small number of these nickels lies a rare treasure that collectors are actively hunting for. First, let's understand the basics. The Jefferson Nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The new design was created by German-American sculptor Felix Schlag, whose rendition of Thomas Jefferson was selected in a public competition. On the reverse side, Schlag placed Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, a neoclassical icon of American architecture. This design remained largely unchanged for over 6 decades, becoming one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. Fast forward to 1979, and the U.S. Mint was in full swing, producing coins from both Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D mint mark. Millions upon millions of nickels were churned out that year, over 500 million to be exact. So here comes the question: how can a coin produced in such high numbers be worth more than the average American's salary? The answer lies in 3 powerful words: condition, rarity, and error. Let's start with condition. Most 1979 nickels circulated heavily. They were handed out in fast food restaurants, change machines, and everyday purchases. As a result, finding a 1979 nickel in top condition, we're talking mint state, with zero scratches, nicks, or wear, is already a challenge. Now let's talk about full steps. Monticello, on the back of the Jefferson nickel, has a set of 6 steps leading up to the front porch. Due to weak striking or worn dies, most nickels lack sharp detail in this area. But if a coin shows all 6 steps, clearly defined, with no breaks, it's designated as full steps, a highly prized grading detail. If you happen to find a 1979 Jefferson nickel with full steps, especially in uncirculated condition, you're looking at something far rarer than most nickels produced that year. But now we come to the most exciting part: mint errors. This is where things get truly valuable. Some of the rarest and most valuable Jefferson nickels from 1979 feature dramatic and bizarre minting mistakes. We're talking about coins struck off-center, with double dies, clipped planchets, or even struck on the wrong metal. Imagine holding a nickel that was accidentally minted on a penny planchet, meaning it's lighter, slightly smaller, and the color is completely off, maybe a reddish tint instead of silver. Or how about a nickel where Jefferson's face is doubled, the date looks like it's echoing, or Monticello has shadow-like doubling across its surface? These coins are freaks of the mint, rare, beautiful mistakes that make collectors drool. But wait, there's even more. There are rumors and verified auction records of 1979 Jefferson nickels that were struck with an inverted mint mark, or featured partial designs due to die clashes, where parts of the obverse and reverse designs imprint where they shouldn't. The world of mint errors is as strange as it is lucrative. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins, you could be sitting on a jackpot. Let's talk numbers. Your average circulated 1979 nickel? It's still worth 5 cents. A mint state MS-65 graded coin with full steps. That could be worth hundreds of dollars, but that's just the beginning. The real prize, the coin that sends collectors and dealers into a frenzy, is the rare 1979 Jefferson nickel that checks every box: mint state, untouched, near flawless, full steps on the reverse, unique mint error, double die, off-center strike, or wrong planchet. Certified by top grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. One such coin recently made headlines when it was discovered in a private coin collection, untouched for decades. It was originally thought to be just a common nickel, until a closer look revealed a series of rare features: perfect detail, rare planchet, and a sharp double strike on the obverse. It was then submitted for grading, confirmed authentic, and sent to auction. And what happened next? The bidding war began. Collectors from around the world competed to own this piece of numismatic perfection, and in the end, the final hammer dropped at a staggering price of $84,000. Yes, you heard that right, $84,000 for a nickel from 1979. So here's the bottom line: before you spend your next nickel without thinking, before you toss it aside or leave it behind, take a moment to look closer, because that small, unassuming coin might just be your lucky charm. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so you never miss a story like this one. Keep checking your coins, your treasure might already be in your hands, and remember, sometimes, 5 cents can be worth more than you ever imagined. Today, we're zeroing in on one particular coin. A coin that many people overlook every single day. A coin so common that millions of them were minted, used, spent, and forgotten. But among them, a few rare survivors are hiding, and their value could absolutely blow your mind. I'm talking about the 1990 Jefferson nickel, the humble 5-cent piece that might just be worth more than a luxury car. That's right, a nickel minted in 1990 could be the key to discovering hidden treasure, if you know what to look for. Now, before you rush to grab your stash of coins, let's dive deep into the history and significance of this fascinating coin. The Jefferson nickel has been in circulation since 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had captured the public's imagination for 25 years. Designed by Felix Schlag, the new nickel featured a dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and a detailed rendering of his famous home, Monticello, on the reverse. What's amazing is that this design, with only a few minor changes, lasted well into the 21st century, spanning wars, recessions, technological revolutions, and generations of collectors. Now, in 1990, the U.S. Mint was operating as usual. The Philadelphia and Denver mints were the main producers of circulation coins. You'll find the mint marks P for Philadelphia and D for Denver on the right side of Jefferson's bust, just below the year. So how can such a common coin become so valuable? Let's break it down. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. The majority of 1990 nickels were mass-produced with minimal attention to ultrafine detail. They were meant for everyday transactions, buying a candy bar, paying sales tax, or rounding off change. But among those hundreds of millions, there were a few coins that came out differently, and different is everything in the world of coin collecting. Let's talk about strike quality. The 1990 Jefferson nickel is notorious among collectors for having weak strikes. That means most coins from that year are worn, flat, or missing finer details, especially the steps on Monticello. But if you find a coin with full steps, meaning all 6 steps of the building are clearly defined and uninterrupted, you're already looking at a rare piece. Combine that with a mint state condition and you've got something special. Now, let's explore the mint errors. These are where things get really exciting. Some 1990 Jefferson nickels were struck with double die obverse, meaning parts of the date, lettering, or Jefferson's image appear doubled. It's a subtle but powerful error that collectors seek out, especially when it's verified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Other rare varieties include off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. Or how about clipped planchets, where a small part of the coin is actually cut off during production? Even rarer are wrong planchet errors. Imagine a nickel struck on a penny or dime blank. These coins look odd, weigh differently, and if authenticated, can sell for thousands of dollars. So here's what you need to do: grab a magnifying glass. Get under a good light. Pull out your 1990 Jefferson nickels and check the following. Look at the mint mark. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. Inspect Monticello's steps. Are all 6 steps clearly visible? That's a full steps coin, and it's valuable. Check for doubling on the lettering, the numbers and the date, or even Jefferson's face. Flip the coin and inspect for anything strange, off-center designs, odd rims, or any missing elements. Finally, feel the coin. Does it feel lighter? Sound different when dropped? It could be struck on the wrong metal. Now, not every 1990 Jefferson nickel will be valuable. Most are still worth 5 cents. But in the rarest cases, where the coin is in MS-67 or MS-68 condition, has full steps, or includes a verified mint error, the value skyrockets. And guess what? One such coin, a pristine 1990 Jefferson nickel, featuring an MS-68 grade, full steps detail, and a minor but incredibly rare obverse die clash, was auctioned by a private collector after being certified by PCGS. The final sale price, an astonishing $73,000. Yes, that's right, $73,000 for a coin that most people would leave on the sidewalk or toss in a fountain. Let that sink in. A 1990 nickel, worth more than a luxury SUV, more than some people's annual income, more than most of us would ever expect to make from a single coin.